So I heard you're still looking for a purpose. Like it's on some kind of sale at Target, or maybe hiding behind third house in Scorpio. Your purpose is not something that you find. It's not like it's a lost sock, not like it's a buried treasure, and it's definitely not even in Bali. Plus, your flight might get canceled if you're trying to fly out there right now. Although I'm not sure about that because by the time this video is out, those could be old news. So never mind, I'm a little bit off my timing. See, your purpose, it's all already written in the stars, but we can't read them looking at the wrong map. You cannot use someone else's sky map to navigate and find yourself. But hey, if Karen on Instagram says her morning celery juice helped her discover her divine calling, obviously that's your path to it too, right? No, celery might be just the right ingredient for Karen, but you, my love, might need something much stronger. Something a lot more powerful. You might just need the Carolina Reaper. But this is your own menu that you have decided to pick and choose from. This, what you see here, is your personal sky map. And no, it's not broken and nothing is wrong with it. You just need some proper translation and navigation on how to apply it. See, since the astral language was never a part of the school curriculum growing up, unfortunately, we don't know how to properly use it. And instead, it has turned into the matchmaking and excuse finding lingo for singles. Like those Scorpios getting labeled as being too intense. Nah, they're just quietly sitting there waiting for you to stop talking in circles so things can finally get real and messy. While you, my darling, may just be avoiding that, the real and messy. Knowing English, Chinese, Russian, sure, they're all great, but they're earth languages. And what I'm talking about is universal language, the astral dialect that decodes your sky map. Because let's be real, no one else's directions make sense for your wonderfully weird, slightly chaotic, and complex internal GPS. Now, coming back to the point I'm trying to make here, finding yourself isn't a Pinterest board. It looks more like practicing staring into a mirror while someone else is holding it awkwardly, right? So, welcome to the world of relationships. Unfortunately, for some, but fortunately for all of us, relationships reflect who we are and not who we are pretending to be in our Tinder profile. But here's the twist. Once you catch a glimpse of who you are, not who your mom, your job, or your latest situationships thinks you are, that's when the real fun starts. That's when you begin to create your purpose. And you better start doing so while you're still in that relationship, or you will very soon sail to the land of the lost. And how do you build it? By practice. Like Play-Doh or IKEA furniture, but with fewer missing screws, maybe. You, me, we need other people to reflect our identity, but we also need action to build our purpose. You can't just find yourself and then nap for the next decade. Unless your purpose is to become a highly evolved couch potato, then live your truth. Those who live in absolute isolation, they don't just lose track of time, they also lose track of self. And their plants die. Sad, I know. And which makes me think of Jimmy, which I forgot to water for a whole week now. And he's probably really mad at me, and I'm definitely not living up to my purpose right now. Sorry, Jimmy. But how does building your purpose even look like? Great question. Imagine you're with someone and you really like how inspired you feel in their company. Let's say to change your habits from smoking cigarettes to applying breath work in your day-to-day life. Well, now you guys are dating and you begin to shape shift your own identity because you're inspired. And the way you shape shift that identity is from someone who used to use smoking cigarettes to cope with stress to implementing an alternative way like breath work to cope with stress. But the question here is, can you make that change without that inspiration? And also by applying it only once or let's say just for a week. And the answer is no. Most of us don't have such a strong free will or the willpower to do something once and then implement it for the rest of our lives. It starts becoming a habit or a new practice. So instead, we apply it daily. We start practicing it, and through the process of putting it into practice and building that habit, we are strengthening the muscle. We slowly start to recognize and build the shifts. We start to awaken to our abilities and firsthand experience the changes in our lives that we took charge of. And in the midst of this process, we suddenly find, or better said, we awaken to our purpose. Because if you're still hurting, making unhealthy choices, beating yourself up, here we can't even begin to speak about purpose from this place. Because purpose is built when you are ready to rise from the past and from a clean state create the future. Purpose is clear, focused, unshakable, and makes an impact, and often silently. Everything else is ego-driven goals, masked by grandiose packaging for sale with lots of fireworks and fluffy words. While they create a lot of noise, afterwards, there is no inspiration in making a change. There are just one exciting moment in time experience. So yeah, life. It's about diving into the chaos, the mess, the people, and then coming back to your mat or yourself or your practice. Then washing up on the shores like, wow, that was intense. But also, I think I learned something here. Life is about constantly looking in the mirror, observing your own reflection, and finding the inspiration to apply what you have learned. Life is simply one big stage for practicing what you have learned until you master it. So you can start teaching it and sharing it and passing it on. And when you have gone through this cycle and experienced the gift you carry and have served others with, then one day you wake up, look back at your life and smile. Because that day is when you realize you actually lived in purpose. Because you served with what you practiced. So stop looking, start building. You're not lost. You're just still in pre-construction phase. Build your purpose with what you know, with what you have right now. The real question here is, what are the habits and patterns you are applying today that make you thrive tomorrow? What are the choices you make today that help you wake up with peace in your heart tomorrow and not with a whole new list filled of regrets? Focus on the present, focus on the practice you built today, and your purpose will be revealed. I can't promise it's going to be tomorrow, but soon, very soon, when you are ready to join me and inquire about your personal SkyMap translation. Until then, remember, all you ever need is you, looking in the right reflection and always finding in this construction noise a piece of inspiration. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.